Let's take a look at the final project, figure 9-13. This has some instructions for bearings and items in the links, and we'll address those as they come up. I'm not too concerned with the fits. We're going to build this structure as the final project, and then there will be an optional where I will do a design for manufacture, tell you things I do like, that I don't like, basic design review stuff. And then, pretty much want to try and get into some of the manufacturing of this component. So this is an assembly with 2 pieces. Maybe not as complicated as the wheel looking wise, but it's still got a fair amount of noise to deal with. Pretty much we have one base, two frames, the links. So it's not that there's a lot of parts or a lot of complexity, but you have to kind of organize your thoughts and your strategies for getting into this. They did give us some names, so we will try to follow those. And we have the bill of materials with the assembly and balloon callouts. The tool library is we have hex bolts, and so the H bolt 1/2 inch 13, 1 1/4 inch length, fully threaded. And if the second number, pretty sure it's the second number anyway, was 1 inch, then there would be a 1/4 inch of shoulder to 1 inch of thread, so partially threaded. 1/4 20 by 1 inch fully threaded, 1/4 20 by 1 1/4 fully threaded, and then links. And let's see, where are they? They do call out for the bearings, but I'm not seeing those in this group. All right, so this drawing doesn't quite fit, so I grabbed a screenshot. And I have a little bit of heartache over this use of the section views when a front view and a top view would have done the same thing, and you could have labeled them front view, top view. With putting them on the on another page and the continuity between the sheets, yeah, kind of get it. I don't know that it adds clarity. This is also one of the pieces that when we do the optional manufacturing review that I want to beat up pretty good here. So there are some geometries that to take note of, and so we go over to the next one. And I believe it broke these into the section AA, so you have the hole locations, and then you have the geometry dimensions. And then the next segment is for the section BB, pretty much looking at it from the same size and same side. And with it being upside down, again, there's a little bit of a clarity issue. So we've looked at the tech drawing list of do's and don'ts from, I believe it's chapter 5, and really anything that improves readability, or we can just make it not so busy. Breaking this into 2 contour dimensions, hole pattern, I get the intent. I just think from a working drawing perspective, it makes it more busy and less clear. All right, so the frames, let's see, the holder side, so 15 and 13, want to look at the other one. Well, let's see, there should have been a quantity of 2, so let's double check that. So I was assuming that those are the same, but there's a holder base and a holder side. Quantity 2, so yeah. So we pretty much have to build one of these and We'll take a look at those geometries. So here's the callouts for the needle bearing. We'll need to double check the library. But then the other side of this is we'll have to go to a supplier, McMaster, Granger, whatever is available in your area, and take a look at the needle roller bearing with those specifications and check the availability and make sure that we're putting a part that is readily accessible, that I can place an order and tomorrow or sometime this week a box will show up with my bearings in it. So kind of like our first projects, the dog bones, we have 3 separate parts, but realistically we can do some interesting things with the patterns. So that one is 10, this one is also 10, 12 inches center to center, 13, and 10 inches center to center on the whole pattern, 14 inches, 12, and it drops to by 0.95. So, again, not overly complex. On the post, then we have the spacers and the stack up, and this would be a single piece. It's kind of hard to justify the machining to turn this material down. If this was maybe a casting, yeah. So that would be up for manufacturing review as well. The one issue that I could potentially see with it is, as this turns, if it catches the one side, depending on the rotation, is going to try to unthread. So it would need a lock washer. We'd have to check the clearances, reduce the amount of bind, look at the side loading. I mean, there's a lot of I want to say small issues there, but I think even if it came down to doing an extra pin versus removing all that material to have a anti-rotation device, I could probably justify that. But we're going to build it as is and make some determinations as we go. I don't see anything jumping out too complicated. We're going to use the whole wizard, and we'll also take a look at downloading the what would happen if we needed to download a fastener from McMaster again, or getting the geometry. So let's go ahead and get into the modeling and see what comes out of this project.